Welcome back to Show Me Trucks. I'm gonna keep trying to get this engine in place. This is a aluminum 5.3 liter LS engine that was actually in my 67 short bed, but I'm gonna use it on this project. I'm trying to get this to fit, but this cross member that sits behind the engine but before the transmission doesn't work the same on the 6-cylinder versus the V8. The 6-cylinder has a slot back here, and that's where that cross member sits in. The bell housing on the V8 takes up more space. So I've been drilling out all these rivets. There's 4 rivets in each side, but this there's a rivet up under here that you can't see probably. It's hard to get to, so I need to move the engine out of the way anyway, so now I can hopefully drill in from the bottom, knock that rivet out. I'm trying to save that cross member. It's a really cool looking cross member. And I'm also going to hook up the transmission, and then now I can just dive the transmission and engine in at the same time. So. I don't have my floors in, as you can tell. So I cut this board. That way it can sit all the way up in the front. That way I know kind of my height, so that I know how far my engine can come back before I'm gonna have to modify the wood floor. Because this is eventually gonna be flat and then an angle wood floor. I don't have a ton of room. I was kind of hoping that this transmission bushing would sit on top of that cross member, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. I'm gonna play with it a little bit today. I'm trying to get these dirty dingo mounts out of here and the rubber engine mounts. These are set up for my 67. I would like, for one, not to use them so I can maybe sell them or keep them for something else. 2, they look ugly on this truck. On the 67, who cares? The frame rails are actually tighter and the exhaust hides it. You probably wouldn't even notice it. And I probably shouldn't even worry about it. But I'm going to see about taking them off, see how hard it would be to make a more simple mount. Welcome back. After Thanksgiving, feeling a little rough, but we had some big changes. So yesterday, I had a guy come by to check out the engine, the 207 that came out of the GMC, and he bought it. which means I had to pull the rear end out. So if you notice how bare it is back here, because it has a torque tube, I had to sew it together. But now that engine's not in my way, which is nice. But when we were moving everything around, it messed up where the frame was sitting, so I need to jack it back up, get it back up to where it's going to be at ride height. What kind of ride height? This is actually going to be where it is before the weight of the stake bed is on it, and where it is before the weight of the engine drops it down. I think the stake bed is going to drop it down about the same as the engine, because I'm going to have battery in the back and gas tank in the back and some side boxes. So I think there's going to be somewhat close to the same weight. But it's kind of cool having all that out of the way and some extra money. So now I need to jack up the springs up to where the axle would ride. That way I can put jack stands in the back, and then I'm going to get the frame in the right spot, engine back in the right spot. That way I can make some engine mounts. So. Today my fuel tank came in, so this actually sits up underneath the frame, which is nice. For now I'm just gonna hang the tank from the bottom, get it out of the way, that way at least it's something cool to look at. What I'm working on is this little mirror. I'm only going to have a driver's mirror, just like my 67. So I actually had this mirror from the original 67, and it's kind of faded. They're supposed to be black. It's kind of faded. It looks fine. I have this weird little spacer, and then this is actually a support for your bedsides on a 67. So I'm going to use this and to attach, and then cut this off and weld to here, and then grind it, get it to fit in there. That way I'll have a little adjustability, plus you can pivot these. They have a kind of little ball socket, so I'm not gonna have it stick out too long, but I don't want it super hot rod looking right here, so I'm gonna have a little length to it. That way you can move it around. I know they looked a little bigger and thicker on the original trucks, but this is what I have, so I'm gonna use this. Well, I messed up filming, but if you would have seen it, this likes to catch on fire a lot. I guess I didn't clean it well, or I'm not actually sure where this little spacer came from, but obviously something really oily. It just kept catching on fire, but weld's okay. I didn't paint that. After I welded it and it kept having issues, I cleaned it and it was like super disgusting. So whatever. If it stays black, cool. If it cleans up and rusts and looks like the rest of the truck, that's cool too. I don't really care. But now I need to grind the side so it slides in there. That's how she turned out. A lot more grinding than I wanted. So this is the new one that I made, but you can tell obviously the glass is broke. But I have this other one, looks about the right size, so I'm gonna see what I can do about prying this one out, putting it in, clamping it back. I know a lot of people are like, well, just use the black one, but I like this one because it came from the 67 and I just like it a little more. This glass is a little domed, so we'll see how this goes. Well, it's going to stay like this for tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to hammer on it a little bit more. Try to get it down in there. Try to curl this lip, but I don't really want to do that right now. Alright, I need to wrap up this video. I have a lot of different projects I'm juggling right now, but I'll show you some things I got, some stuff I've been up to. So, I went to the Pamona Swap meet. I've never been to it. I picked up another wheel and got connections on 3 more wheels, so I'll be fine. I wanted 5. I just wanted to make sure I had a spare. This one's pretty rough, but the trick that I did was I couldn't find one anywhere else at the swap meet. I walked everywhere and I couldn't find one, so I was like, I'm gonna carry it around. Maybe someone will see it or ask me about it or something. Right away, I was waiting on food, and a guy's like, hey, I got 3 of these at my house. I picked up one, pretty rough, pretty rusted, but I did pick up some 67 hubcaps, even though I told myself I'm not getting anything for my trucks, for those trucks. And then I picked up these mounts for the rear axle. If you remember, I pulled out the axle, and that way, whenever my new one shows up, I can adjust the pinion, weld that in, that way it's solid. That's way easier than me fabricating one of those up, which I could do, but those look nice, not that expensive. I also picked up some metal. This is for the stake bed in the back. Metal is crazy expensive right now. This is 2x4 pieces of box tubing. I think 60,000. Pretty thin. This truck's not gonna get abused too crazy. And then I picked up some 1x1 box tubing, same 60,000. I'm trying to keep everything light. Also, I picked up this, I think it's 2x3 for the side stakes that will run up. And then today, I've been having trouble finding 1x8 boards. So today I had to drive back to Lancaster because Tehachapi didn't have any, and went to Lowe's. I have been going to Home Depot, but I'm pretty happy that I went to Lowe's because they had these cedar boards. I wanted to do something besides just regular white board or pine, or my opinion, it doesn't stain and look as pretty. Also, I picked up the sheet of 4x8 plywood. It's only 1/2 inch thick for the floor inside the cab. So I know, I'm sure everyone's like, you should use 3/4, but I'm not jumping around in here like a trampoline, so I think the 1/2 inch will be fine. So I'm gonna get started working on the stake bed pretty soon in the next video, and cutting out the wood floor. And then Friday I get to go pick up those wheels. I need to figure out tires. I'm still on the fence. I kind of wanted a knobbier looking tire, but I'm having trouble finding anything that's not big, like not a 750 series. These are like 600s, which would be like 6 inches wide. 750 is a little big for the rim. I think it'll work, but I'm not sure how it's gonna look on the truck. This is what came on it originally. Some 550 17s. And they look fine. I might go that way. I think I'm gonna stick with the bias ply, but I'm trying to keep costs down because there is some nice tires out there, but they're about $350, almost $400 a piece. Again, I don't make crazy money. I sell parts so that I can buy other parts. If you guys have any opinion, let me know. Definitely, I don't think I'm doing white walls at all. I think I'm gonna keep it black. I think the truck is gonna have kind of a dark look with wood and dark. And if it had knobbies, I'd be totally into it, because I do plan on using this truck. I know everyone laughs at me when I say that, especially the guy that swapped me when I told him I was putting a 300 horsepower 5.3 liter in there. He thought that was ridiculous. I just had to not use the gas pedal, I guess. Just idle everywhere. But some knobbies would be nice, so I have a little bit of traction, so I don't get stuck somewhere, because I like to take my car some bad places. So, hope you guys like this video. The next one will be more fun. I'll be making the stake bed for the back and trying to figure out how I'm gonna mount it. Staining some wood, cutting wood up for the floor, staining that, even though, not really staining, I'm using oil.